Nowadays, how do you handle that? How do you make sure that your story is dead on, that you know you got everything to make a great story?
My name is Emilie Eaton, and I'm a criminal justice enterprise reporter for the San Antonio Express News. So that means I essentially write in-depth crime stories or stories about the criminal justice system. It's a great honor to work for the San Antonio Express News because I know that we've been around for so long. We've been around for over 150 years, and we've told so many important stories over that time. So I take that responsibility very seriously. That's why I go to all of these links, is because I know that readers have trusted us for so long, and it's our job to make sure that we continue getting that information out to them. The last year has had its fair share of challenges, especially with the winter storm and with the pandemic, and it's basically taught me and reassured me that I need to work harder, that I need to look for these stories and help amplify voices that so often are not heard. With criminal justice reporting, one thing that's really come to light in the last year is some of the issues around police misconduct and police brutality. And we saw around the same time that the pandemic was coming out, there was also all this news of racial unrest because of the death of, or the killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis. And we saw that effect here in San Antonio too. There were a lot of protests, there were a lot of questions about police conduct and questions about how police officers here are disciplined and the role that the union plays in that. So those are some of the issues that have really sort of come to the forefront in terms of criminal justice over the last year. One of the big challenges of being a journalist is making sure that we have accurate information, of course, but also that we're timely and that we get the information out that people need. And we have a whole lot of protocols, for lack of better words, to make sure that we are doing that. So when I get a tip about something that's going on in the community, I make sure that I double check it with another source, maybe triple check it, quadruple check it, and then also all this time I'm working with my editor and I'm saying, okay, well, what doesn't stand up right now? What do we need to figure out? What do we need to make sure is 100% correct? And she will help guide me in the right direction. And eventually, we put together this article and make sure that everything is 100% correct, and we publish it. And oftentimes then at that point we'll follow up on it, because just getting the information out there can bring in more tips or can bring in more interest into what's going on. And so at that point we'll make sure to follow up and see what else we need to learn and just go through the whole process all over again. At the end of the day, we're able to put out these long contextualized stories that really get to the bottom of what's going on. They talk to a whole lot of people, they amplify a lot of different voices, and that's something that unfortunately a lot of other outlets don't have the luxury to do. One thing that I want readers to know about me and about all of my friends and colleagues at the Express News is that we genuinely care about our community. We all live here, and this is the way that we show our community that we care. We get them the information they need to know. And I think sometimes that can get lost. I think sometimes people will think, oh, that's just such a horrible news story, that's such a critical news story. And that's not what our intention is. Our intention is highlighting issues and issues of injustice to make sure that they get better, to make sure that the people who are most underrepresented have their voice heard. And so that's, I think, what I want people to know is, sometimes I get nasty emails from readers and I understand where they're coming from, but I want them to know that, hey, I care. I understand what's going on and why you're concerned, but I'm doing this because I care.